My name is Patrick Sugut. I'm a manager in Mara Farm. Mara Farm is located along Eldoret Nakuru Road, about 30 kilometers from Eldoret town on your way to Nakuru. It is a farm owned by Stephen Maraba Kimboy, a company owning a company in Maraba Investments Limited, Eldoret. This farm, our main business is dairy farming. Dairy farming, we specialize in milk production and rearing of heifers. That's our core business. Yeah. Yes, I'm an EDFA member who participate actively in all the activities of the EDFA. EDFA benefited a lot from EDFA, not only from the exposure that I've gotten through the various visitations that they have enabled us to visit various sites, various countries, various farms. I've been able to we mix with, or rather meet with other farmers. We share our ideas round table. We have also benefited from the EDFA group through meeting expertise. Not only meeting other farmers where we share our problems, but we have also been able to meet other experts in the dairy sector, and we will be able to get the knowledge. We do a lot with EDFA. One of the things that being an EDFA member is we have tried to embrace modern dairy farming. When you talk about modern dairy farming, is embracing the challenges that have come along. This farm historically has been a dairy farm for over the years, but you see over the years you need to change your methods of doing farming. So through EDFA we've been able to get the information, and like currently right now we are following the programs that have been given to us or have been recommended to us by EDFA group. One of them is we're doing paddocking, an initiation that we have with EDFA to see if there is a benefit in paddocking, if there is a benefit in maybe doing grass in the way it should be done. The skills, I've had various visits from by the experts from EDFA. We initiated a program which we started last year about October, and after starting, you know, the main materials required for paddocking are the posts. We have the barbed wire, we have got the droppers, we have the bad grass, all that encompasses paddocking. So through EDFA, we outlined what is required. As a farm, we were able to get the posts, the material required for paddocking, and we started the process of paddocking this year in January, where we started our paddocks on the other end, and now we have got our paddocks totaling. We have done about now 6, and our target for this year will do 12 by the end of this year. So through EDFA we'll be able to get the information where they come, they see the much you've done, and able to advise us on the way forward. Yeah. First, when you talk about a paddock, you're talking about an enclosure where you manage your animals. One of the things is this enclosure, you should not overstock your animals, neither should you understock your animals in that kind of a paddock. So through EDFA we're able to calculate how much size, what size space requirement do we require for a given herd. Like our herd for one of the groups is about 35 animals, or rather most of our groups are about between 35 to 40 animals. So through EDFA we're able to calculate, know the acreages we need for a given group of animals. For example, we normally use a measure of 0.1 of an acre for one cow for 3 days, or 0.1 of an acre for 3 days for one cow. So that is the ratio. So in designing the paddocks, that is the measure that we use. So for 35 cows we need about 3.5 acres for for the cows to graze for 3 days. Yeah, but it should have attained a certain height. So when you talk about now paddocking, those are the logistics which we look into. What is the space size required? And again, one thing that you should note about the animals is the animals normally graze on a north-south direction. That is one concept you should understand. They don't graze on an east-west orientation. So most of the design of our paddocks, as you'll see, they are going in the north-south direction, because the animals will start from that end and will go to the other end and also come to this other end. So don't design your paddock in the east-west orientation. So the design parameters, those are things which you look into. I mean, how will you orient your paddocks? I mean, what is the size, the area of your paddocks? And then you go now deeper to what kind of a grass do you want to have in your paddock. In our case, we are looking to doing much of Kikuyu grass, because that is a good grass that is able to give us the production in milk, or the protein that we need from the grass in plenty. So we are removing the bad grass, we are removing the stone, we are reducing the trees, because when you have a lot of trees, they create a shade, and underneath the grass does not grow. But when you have got a minimal number of trees, you have grass growing all around. So with the shades also, they are very important for the animals, so that when it is very sunny, the animals can go under the shade and maybe regulate their body temperatures. And then also with these paddocks also, we are also putting water traps in each of the paddocks, so that an animal can really have an easy access to the water. Now, for grasses, for example, the paddock behind me, we did it about, this is the third week, though we have not had any rains. We have not had any rain ever since with this paddock. This paddock was, there was plenty of trees. We removed the excess number of trees. We remained with a few that the animals could graze under, and also for ease of machinery, so that our machine, whether the tractors we are using, we are mowing the grass, that the tractors can easily maneuver in between the trees. So what we do is, when cleaning the paddock, we remove excess trees, we remove the bad grass, we remain with the manageable grass that can be cut by the mower. Then we slash all the grass down, the first stage. The main reason for slashing the grass down is to ensure that there is air penetration into the soil. Now, after slashing the grass, we remove the bad grass which has got bad odor, because if a paddock you leave the animals for so long, it tends to get some odor which an animal is not able to pick. If you look at where the grass is, the grass normally around the dung, the cow is not able to feed on that. So by mowing, we're able to displace all that, so that it can get into the soil, and also enhance aeration. So once we have mowed, what we do next is we are able to rake. The main reason is raking is for removing now the grass, the bad grass, and we're able to collect all that. We take it and dump it at our manure site. Now, the main reason why we are removing that is to allow the sun rays to penetrate into the soil. It's so that all the dung that was there, the sun rays are able to hit that, and it dries, and that bad odor is out of the grass. So when the rains come, they're able to reach the grass nicely. And then once the good grass now grows, we enhance its growth by doing fertilization. We can either use a fertilizer, or you can use organic manure, whichever is available, whichever is cheaper. So we let the grass grow up to a height of about a foot high. Then when it is about a foot high, we now let the cows into the paddock, where they reduce the height of the grass to about 4 inches. Then we'll again close the paddock, spread the dung that has been left by the animals, and if possible, if there's fertilizing with the fertilizer from the shop, maybe CAN, then we do at that point. Then close the paddock for another, again, about 21 to 30 days. So that is the kind of the pattern that you observe in doing paddock management. Yes, we have cases, but not all animals again. Not all animals will have the blot. About 1 or 2, like in our case in our farm, we have got a case of about 3 animals which will always have a problem with bloat, and we have a case of about 2 cows which will always in any other, Those are the two that we have always had. So it's not a question of all the animals having the bloat. It's just few cases that are there. Of course, and that is the reason why we don't just let the cows go into the paddock unattended and then go away until to the time we're coming to milk. We still have to follow up our animals at the paddock. So the person taking care of the herd will have to follow the animals and see their behavior. If you don't see the animal, I mean, normally it is normally easy to observe an animal that has issues with the bloat. You look at the left side. I mean, is it left or right? I don't know. You should the left side. You look at the left side. The left side of the cow normally bulges more than the right side. So when you have kind of that, and you teach also, you dissipate the same knowledge to the person taking care of the herd, that when you see one side becoming bigger than the other side, you should take note of that cow. Of course, you'll also see other signs, stress from the same animal. Maybe you'll see him not maybe grazing, and maybe trying to lie down. The cow becomes uncomfortable, in other words. Yeah. So we have those cases, but the key thing is you should have maybe something, an anti-bloat closer to you, so that you can always manage that. First, it is a grass which, when you talk about milk, even before you talk about milk, you talk about the palatability of the grass. The cows love getting this grass because it is soft, yeah, and it is easy to graze. When you look at the other bad grass, we have got good grass and bad grass. Not all grasses are the same. So when you talk about Kikuyu grass, we're talking about the good grass because it is soft, it is good for the animal, and it grows fast. When you fertilize it, it grows fast. So economically, it is a grass that suits a farmer. And then the other aspect is this grass, if it grows big, you have plenty of rain, and the paddocks are so many, and your animals are so few, this grass you can mow it and you do grass silage. So this is also a drive towards us doing grass silage as a means of reducing the cost of feeding our animals from other feeds. So right now at this stage we have not been able to do much of grass silage. We are still establishing the paddocks. But this grass, once we have fertilized it enough and there is proper rains, some of our fields we are going to do grass silage. And it is the reason why I told you we are removing so many trees so that our tractors can access at almost every other point. So that is the reason behind why we are doing Kikuyu grass. So ease of establishment, and we can manipulate it for other reasons. So on dry season, once we do grass silage, we can use it for a dry season when we hardly have any grass around us. The bad grass, there are so many ways of removing. You can do chemical, you can do manual removal. It depends on the methods that you want to use. You can burn it on a dry season. All those options are available to a particular farmer. But you see right now we cannot burn the grass because one, it is green, it can hardly catch fire. But the other reason why we cannot burn it at this stage is not only because it cannot catch fire, it's because this is a prime season where we are receiving rains. So instead of destroying everything and waiting for quite some time, it is easy to remove the bad grass, and then you give a room for the good grass to establish. And normally when removing the bad grass, our approach here, we just use normal human labor, normal tools, jembes, where we're able to dig and remove that grass. And not only do we pluck it out from the soil and leave it there, we have to remove it completely from the field. The reason behind is that so that we reduce their spread through flowering and all that kind of seed spreading all through. So the main reason why is we pluck it and we take it away from the field so that we remove the and then to also kill them or to suffocate them, we are doing manuring. So we are using manures from the dairy, and we are top dressing the field. Normally when you do manure to your field, the good grass will come and the bad grass will disappear. Normally, I don't think you have ever found in your maybe a boma, as they call it, some bad grass. It's normally good grass on most of the times because there's a lot of nitrogen in the soil, and that encourages the good grass. Yeah. For the old animals, they may end up losing their teeth. Two, if a cow loses their teeth, then they will not eat. That is one of the effects of the bad grass. And then economically, you are not utilizing your space, because all that bad grass, there is no cow that will feed there. But at the end of the day, all that area is supposed to be for dairy. So there is the issue of minimal area, or rather space reduction when it comes to the bad grass. You have got a small area that the animal is able to feed. So to increase the surface area over which the animals can graze, you have to eliminate the bad grass. And then the effect is, like as I told you, to the cows, it has issues to do with their teeth. And then the other thing about the bad grass is, what do you gain if you ask yourself at the end of the day? What is the gain? So the grass is just as good as a crop in the field. So if you have a weed in your crop, are you going to harvest that weed? Definitely no. So we are also removing that. It's like a weed in our pasture. We are gaining because we did our first paddocks, and once the grass was ready, we did let the animals in. One thing that you observe from your animal, you get the rumen feel. When you get a rumen feel for your cows, that means your cows, the body condition score increases over time. So it means when it comes to the health of the cow, your cow is able to grow healthily. Now for the dairy cows, you will see the results almost instantly through milk production or milk increment in quantity produced per day. So if there is a milk increment just only through the grass without adding an additional dairy meal, then it means you have gotten an extra money without doing an additional input in terms of dairy meal. So you get the results through the dairy cows. And when it comes to the the AFAs are another group of animals where we target to achieve or attain a certain weight before doing any of the AI services. So like our AFAs, we target to ensure that they attain at least about 400 kilos by the time we are doing the first insemination. It is very difficult to attain that, but at least that's our target. Of course, we normally inseminate adults at about 350 or 370 kilos. So that weight is important, so that by the time you do the first insemination and before the time it calves down, it should be attained a weight of about 600 kilos. But then you'll be having a good cow which is healthy, and it will not have problems in calving, because when it comes to the body condition or the body shape, the cow is well built. So you see the results are there. And then other than if we are benefiting from what we are doing, yes, we are benefiting so much. The reason is there is reduced cost in terms of management of the animals, because your animals are able to feed on the grass mostly, and then just come and you feed less silage maybe to add before you can go now and milk with the minerals or the other supplements that you have in terms of the feeds. So there is a lot when it comes to how much you are getting from what we are doing. Yes. I always travel around to our neighbors, to other places, and sometimes I see animals grazing by the roadside. And when you look at those animals, they are looking for grass. You know, animals or cows generally, dairy cows for that case, they are meant to graze mostly on grass. So the question any other small-scale farmer should ask themselves: am I feeding my cows on the grass? So if you have got a small area and you have got bad grass and good grass, you can utilize the small area by ensuring that there is good grass. Fertilize the small area to ensure that there is some good grass. That way you not travel so much with your cows through a longer distance, which it takes energy from the cows which they would have otherwwise used it for producing milk. So try to utilize the small area, the small spaces. The small scale farmers, I like what they are doing. I encourage them to do so, but they should also try to utilize the small parcels of land they have through paddocking and taking care of the grass just as any other crop.